And it's wonderful to feel anger. Welcome. Today I am going to talk about anger. Anger is a funny one because it's been getting a bit of a bad, or it has had a bad rap over the years, probably for the past 20 years that I've been an adult. And it is actually really important and potent, yet important. I love that. Important, potent. But it's interesting. I was observing myself just now, chatting to a colleague because of a situation that was happening that was a bit frustrating for me. But a funny thing was, just before I had that conversation, I was sitting at my desk writing an email to try and come up with a plan of action to mitigate the situation from happening again. And I was just like, just sitting there, just feeling really heavy and blah. And so I was like, I think I need to go and immerse myself in nature. And what that looked like today was going to my backyard and hanging out with my chickens. I've got little chookies and they are hilarious. They chat to me and they like a bit of a pat and also a bit of a peck, and they crack me up because they're tiny little dinosaurs. They are literally this big. They're really small. They lay tiny eggs, about 35-gram eggs, and they're fluff balls, and they're very entertaining. And it's a beautiful day outside. I've got this beautiful view, as you can see, and so from my backyard I'm just looking at this view while I'm chatting to the chooks. And it was just beautiful. It was lovely to get that sort of nourishing sort of environment. And then I came back inside. I made myself a cup of tea. And sat back down at my desk and did a 3-minute meditation. It's guided and it's basically just breathing in a few times and feeling the cool air and the warm air come and go out of my body. It's really lovely. It's because it's only 3 minutes, you feel I can just pop it in during the day anytime that I'm feeling what is a word for that? If you've got an idea what a word for feeling that feeling is, let me know, because I'm not sure what the word is right now. Anywho, so I'd done the things, I took my toolbox, my sensitive soul toolbox, I went outside into nature, I made a lovely cup of tea in my favorite mug, and I did a 3-minute meditation. Yet it wasn't until I spoke to a trusted colleague just now where all of this anger and frustration came out. And I was swearing and I was venting and I was like, oh, right, where did that come from? I guess this is a vent call. I'd actually called her for some of her expertise, but it turned out that I actually called, it seemed like it was more of a vent call. And she said, that's all right. I mean, we need to do this sometimes. And it just made me remember that I have to feel the emotions. I have to feel the emotions as well. And I do a lot of the time. But in this case, I'd sort of gone off to fix-it mode and went to the Mindfulness and the Wellbeing toolbox, which is great. But you got the first step. The first step that I teach all the time is feel the emotions. Feel them in your body. Because if we don't feel them, they're not going to go away from a bit of are they? They're just going to come back. And if you try and push them away, they're going to come back with a vengeance. And if they don't come back with a vengeance, they'll come back in your body some way. You'll get a cold or you get sick or an ache or a pain or something worse. We can't suppress our emotions. It is bad for our health. I teach that. It's like 101, empathy and self-compassion and well-being. Yet I forgot on this occasion. And that is why this stuff is an ongoing practice. It's not like you do self-development and growth and finally you're at the end and you've got it figured out. Nope, it's an ongoing process. We're always growing, always developing and learning and being better versions of ourselves and thriving just a little bit better at life. So this is me reminding you that first feel the emotions, and if it's anger, it's totally okay. It's safe. It's safe to feel anger, and it's wonderful to feel anger. Anger's a funny one, and especially if I look at or read through Marshall Rosenberg, who developed nonviolent communication. He identified anger as a real blanket across a number of different emotions, and I really resonate with that myself. Because I find if you're really angry, you're out of you're in your monkey mind, you're in your I can't say that word, the amygdala, and you're in your monkey mind and you can't really think straight or whatever. And once you feel it though, and potentially deal with it in a safe way, like punching a pillow or screaming into the pillow or shaking your body out. They're some of the ones that I really like to do. Doing a kitchen dance. I call it a kitchen dance just because I'm always end up being in my kitchen and I've got a Google Hub there and it just plays music and have a kitchen dance. But screaming into the pillow is one of my biggest things. And I find those the safest ways rather than slamming doors or stomping or, throwing things. But yeah, so once you get that out of your system, then I guess that is a way like of feeling the anger. And because it's so sort of volatile and potent, it's great to move your body. So you move it sort of out of your body a bit, and then the emotions that are underneath it. So as I said, anger can blanket other emotions, and the emotions, so once you release that, the emotions underneath are often around frustration and powerlessness. That's not really an emotion though. Aggravated, irritated, impatient. Yeah, they're all pretty much like frustration, aren't they? Then it's easier to get more clear on what it is that's bothering you, because anger is just too much, especially as a sensitive soul. It can be really full on. So once you release it and then you get clear on it's frustration or it's something else, then you're able to figure out what the needs are behind it that is really bothering you. But so the fact that I vented to my friend, that's my other go-to place, is to vent. But it depends. You've got to be careful because you don't want to unload on somebody, especially if you're really angry. But yeah, I didn't realize my frustration until I started talking to my colleagues. But basically the whole premise is, don't forget to feel your emotions first before all of the mindfulness and well-being practices that you put in place. I think my meditation now would be much better received by my body now that I've released the frustration through having a vent to my trusted colleague. So let me know if that has ever happened to you, whether you're frustrated about something and you just try and be mindful and chill and go for a walk or whatever. So I'd love to hear also different ways that you find dealing with your anger or frustration too. What are some of the tactics that you do in safe ways? Yeah, I'd love to hear your stories. That's all for me. Have a beautiful day.